really feel like that's what we're called to do, is to love one another, to, give what God has given us back to each other. That's why I love all of you genuinely. I do believe that's because God loved me genuinely, changed me over the years to be able to love people genuinely and not judge, and that's the thing with Christianity that it saddens me that I hear so much, is because Jesus didn't judge. Yes, he is a judge, but he came and sat with the sinners, sat with the people, the tax collectors, and people that in that time would be like, why are you even associating with those people? And I feel like that is what like Christianity is almost become. Like, why are you associating with people who don't believe in God or practice the same denomination with you? Causes so much, division and all of that kind of stuff, when Jesus came here to be the perfect example. And what he laid an example out of is love, understanding, and to meet people where they're at. We can't expect, and I think that that's something that a lot of us struggle with going to God, is we feel like we have to be a certain way, present a certain way to be with God. And that's where Jesus came down here. So we didn't have to do that anymore. We didn't have to go through the ritualistic aspects of going to the altar and having priests and having all this stuff. Like, we don't have to do that anymore, because he came back here so that we, through the Holy Spirit, can have that connection back with God. Maybe not the same way that it was in the garden, but we will have that again. But this is like I guess I can almost say like a introduction to what the relationship in heaven with God is going to be like, and with the relationship with all of us, because everybody who is, believes in God and we go to, we are all connected. So, and I believe that we all have the choice here on earth, which makes us all connected. Okay. So I feel like, that loving each other is the number one way to show what God has done for us, So that is my goal, is to hopefully, of course, show people that God is, here for you, and you are able to access him just like I talk about. I access him. It's just a matter of laying down our pride, laying down our ego, laying down ourself, and just asking God to fill that hole that we are all searching for, whether it be substances or work, like we were talking about, or relationships. We can even try to fill that hole with people, or materialistic things, but that hole inside of us that we all search to fill was put there on purpose, was put there by God, because he is the only one that can fill it. And when we truly lay it down, all of that stuff that's in the way, and all of our presuppositions, and what we think God is, and allow him to show us what he really is, I think that's when that relationship can start. And then understanding of everything else kind of follows through, and I'm not perfect. I am still learning, guys. I'm just trying to pray and get closer to God so that I can, help anybody with any questions, that I have myself, and try to relay the message that God gave me the best as I can. And of course, I know that he'll use anything that he can to reach you, because you are loved, no matter how much the world, people, church, religion, tells you have to be a certain way, or do a certain thing, or be a certain way, or that God is even a certain way. That just simply isn't true. That God is individualized to us personally, and can have a personal relationship with each and every one of us. So